Muhammad Ali is not too much different than Colin Kaepernick.
He sacrificed. He gave up the prime of his career to stand up for something he believed in. When you take a stance that Kaepernick did, you are jeopardizing future employment. That's precisely why people admired it.
Colin Kaepernick, he is the one of the few 49ers this year that comes out without playoff experience, playing experience.
But here's somebody who's trying to stand for justice and for equality, and you consider that to be somehow embarrassing your NFL that has no problem employing some people who have done some pretty undesirable things.
By the dawn's early light.
The near side, intercepted by the Packers, running down the near sideline and taking it in. A pick six by Sam Shields.
The police in this country were not initially formed to serve and protect. They were put in place to control minorities.
Every week, we just see police officers going mental.
Well, the one devastating mistake that every 49er hoped that Kaepernick would avoid in his first playoff game, and he makes it on his first series.
Colin Kaepernick shouldn't be ashamed of what he did. America should be ashamed of what they're doing.
Kaepernick steps up, will try and run to pick it up.
He has NFL ability.
His job.
15, to the 10, to the 5, to the corner and in. Touchdown 49ers.
All those people.
Go ahead, Colin Kaepernick. We're proud of you.
Where are you now?
Images of police beating protesters and other innocent bystanders has become a normality as America sinks into the depths of a tyrannical police state.
The lessons should not be when people protest, when they use their First Amendment right to protest things. The lesson should not be that's a cautionary tale because it winds up bad for them. It should be, look, they were willing to jeopardize things, to be self-sacrificial on the altar of a greater cause.
Kaepernick had 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions last year when he was healthy enough to play for his third coach in 3 years.
I don't think there's any question he's being blackballed.
Colin Kaepernick, by the way, has won, 4 playoff games? 3 of them?
3 years removed from the Super Bowl.
3 of them.
Here's Harris cutting back. DeJuan Harris for the touchdown.
Just to defend the police for a minute and show that they're not always shooting black people, let's show the film that happened this week where they're shooting a Hispanic man. This is Pasco, Washington. Look, this guy was throwing rocks at the cops, then he ran away. There is something systemic wrong here. And again, not all cops, but tell me why that is not cowardly.
The idea that Colin Kaepernick, well, he's not Tom Brady, but the idea that Colin Kaepernick can't play for some team and that he isn't among the 50 or 60 best quarterbacks who could play in the NFL is ridiculous.
Kaepernick.
He has shown what he can do when he runs and throws at a high level and has got a coach who can put him in that position.
Because while in custody in the Ferguson jail in 2009, officers grabbed him and pushed him and struck him multiple times. They say they were provoked, although oddly, there is no video of this incident, despite the fact the jail is equipped with video cameras.
Since 1996, in response to the war on drugs, the Department of Defense transferred $4.3 billion in military equipment to local and state police.
Forced, no-knock entries into private homes, and now for almost any reason at all, like serving warrants.
The decision has been made that people aren't going to bring Colin Kaepernick into their team to play.
Has anybody here tonight ever heard of Doraville, Georgia? Me neither. But it's a town of 8,000 people, and they have their own tank. So does Nixon, Missouri, and Justice, Illinois.
Here's another patronizing test. Let's take it all away from them, and if they can make it through a whole month without killing a single unarmed black man, then, and only then, can they get their fucking toys back.
Colin Kaepernick has been forced to address rumors that he converted to Islam.
Did you hear that he converted to Islam a couple of months ago? Did you hear this?
It's not true.
So the reason they're saying that Kaepernick is a Muslim is because they consider it a smear.
Colin Kaepernick is better than some of the 32 now starting quarterbacks in the league.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go there. I'm going to say he's being blackballed.
Just before we get into this, who pays his check?
The owners have us.
All right, and who do we think's blackballing Colin Kaepernick?
Oh, the owners.
Oh, weird.
Oh, who would he make better? He'd make a lot of teams better. He would make a lot of teams better. Better QBR last year than Tannehill, Cam, Wentz, Eli, Bortles, Fitzpatrick, Keenum.
Oh, how about the fact that, I don't know, Ryan Fitzpatrick, for instance, right? He's got a job. You know that man threw 23 interceptions when he was 29 years old?
37-year-old Alton Sterling, a black man, is pinned down by 2 white police officers.
Police in Louisiana this morning are investigating the deadly police shooting of a black man.
The video appears to show a Baton Rouge policeman shooting the 37-year-old man as officers held him down on the ground.
Not everybody is being shot by the cops. When we see these tapes, we are seeing black men, for the most part, being shot. And I think that we have to just address the elephant in the room.
My son is not the youngest. He is the oldest of his siblings. He is 15 years old. He had to watch this, as this was put all over the outlets, and everything that was possible to be shown.
When that team was together with a solid coach and a solid GM relationship, he played well.
Turn and Kaepernick keeps it going outside to the right. He's running down the near side, and Kaepernick is gone. Colin Kaepernick with a great fake. He faked out the entire stadium, and he runs it 56 yards for a 49er touchdown.
We know that Jerry Jones just signed a 36-year-old backup under the guise of, and I loosely quote, we need a quarterback for the future.
He just shot his arm off. We got pulled over on Larpener.
Told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license.
And there is no justification for a society where my son has a far greater chance of being stopped, held, killed than your son, simply because he's black.
Because if you're really worried about what this guy who decided to take a social action stance, and that was his decision, who has committed no crimes, you're worried about what idiot fans, and yes, I will say that because you're an idiot fan, if this offends you more than murderers, drug addicts, wife beaters, these are the people that don't bother you, this one does, this is a blackball.